Hi Internet, it's Mr. Shoppingman recording. Today I'm going to go through or review a whitebag I just got, which is an item that drops from the Cogbolt Steamworks. And it's an item that relatively recently was changed and has undergone, I think, 2 reworks since the Steamworks came out. I'm going to show you its DPS, and I'm going to share my thoughts on using it since I've been doing that for a while. I haven't seen any videos discussing or looking into this item. Since when I first got it, I searched on like YouTube and stuff on how good it was, or if the item was good or had good DPS and was like viable to use in certain scenarios. And I didn't really find any updated videos on that topic, so I decided to make one of my own. The item in question is, of course, the Steampipe. It has a kind of weird description, or like how it works. It shoots 4 bullets, and they each do between 50 to 65 damage. The thing is that some of them ignores the defense of the targets, the last 2 bullets. And the first 2, of course, ignores targets, so it pierces. It also gives a kind of weird plus 25 mana, and has a quite solid 7% XP bonus. It's a fairly odd sprite for being a Steampipe. I think it should be a bit more Steampipe looking. This just looks like a very weird polearm or sword, in my opinion. The firing pattern looks like this, which looks like bubbles to me. It's pretty cool. It has a quite solid range for the first bullet. The thing is that just shooting with 1 bullet with this staff doesn't really do that much damage. But when it comes to hitting all of the bullets, it does more damage. So I'm going to compare it DPS wise to 3 other staffs, and you'll see for yourself. I will show it all of the 4 different ranges, or all of the 4 different bullets, to compare it to the Staff of Espen, the Shaman Staff, and the Tier 13 one. So we're going to start with benchmarking other staffs to compare to the Steampipe. I'm going to start with the Tier 13 one. Let's just line it up so that I'll hit all the shots, and we'll start the DPS test. So I do this just to make sure that we can compare all of the staffs in terms of damage. So the Tier 13 one does 14,500 damage, which is pretty good. We can compare that to the Staff of Espen, which of course has lower true range and pierces, so it's better for crowd control purposes. There we go. And as you can see, it does notably less damage, like 2,000 less damage. And then we compare it to the Shaman Staff, which shoots a bit weird, so we'll see if I can line it up properly. That's the main staff I've been using. It's kind of weird to use, since it shoots very irregularly, like it just switches where it fires from time to time. We're going to start to see how much damage it does. There we go. And it does basically the same as the Tier 13 one. I may have missed a couple. Let's see if I sit on it. If it makes any difference. Well, not really. I may have missed like 1 or 2 shots, but it does basically the same as the Tier 13 one. And it has roughly the same range as well. But of course, some of them pierce, and I think it actually can do more damage if you're berserk and attacking. And then we're going to compare it to the Steampipe. Of course, the Steampipe has very strange firing patterns, and it shoots 4 shots, and to get all of the damage in, you have to have 2 tiles between you and your enemy. So we're going to first go off and see how much damage it does if you stand 2 tiles from it as a stuff class, which you very rarely will. Maybe if it's a chest or a damaging phase. As you see, it does almost 20,000 damage, which is considerably higher than both of these two options. I don't know about the tier 14 one, but I don't think that it competes with that much damage, actually. But that's, of course, at 2 tiles in range, which is very difficult and not very usable. We'll see about the 4th one, which is going to be that blue one, right? So about here. This is 4 tiles away. This is actually usable, sort of like sword range, or a bit higher actually. And then it does almost the same as tier 14 and the shaman staff. Although it actually pierces the defense of the target for the 3rd one. So it might be higher on higher defense targets. So still usable from this range. Now we're going to see at the 6 range. This is the dagger range. And then it just does almost 10,000 damage, which is considerably lower. So if you can't go really deep with the Steampipe, it does very lackluster damage, and it doesn't offer the armor piercing benefits as well. So I'd say that Steampipe, if you can go, it's a better alternative, in my opinion, to the EP, where you actually have to just stand on top of it, since 2 tiles is actually way safer on many bosses. And the same goes for the cultist staff, where you have to fire backwards and also almost stand on top of it. So this you can go in between 4 or 2 in range, and on like high defense targets, and you'll be doing more damage than the tier 13 one. So in that regard, it's a solid pick or a solid swap out. I don't think it should be your main staff, since if you're clearing things, it just fires 1 bullet, or it actually fires 4, but just in 1 line. And of course, the longer range bullets don't really deal a lot of damage, or they deal the same damage, but the stuff doesn't really excel unless you're standing very close to your target. Okay, so in terms of conclusions, I wouldn't say that the Steampipe is the best for primary use in terms of staffs. However, as a swap out for very close range encounters, I think it actually could be pretty handy. And also, if the target in question has pretty high defense, the extra 2 bullets ignoring the defense will do extra damage comparatively to the other staffs which you could use in the same scenario. So if you get the Steampipe, I wouldn't use it as the primary staff. I would have it as a swap out. But it is definitely worth using as a swap out, since it has quite decent damage on both 4 and on 2 tiles of range. For 1, I would say if the target has lots of defense, it could be better than the tier 13 one, and the 2 would be better than both the tier 13 and the tier 14 one, but that would be highly situational. So in conclusion, a pretty good swap out. That was all from me. Thank you guys for watching.